Holy shite. That's gotta be oil. That's gotta be oil. Damn. Yeah, that break one worked out too well. Starbucks. Right back down. Lovely. Rob. Hey, buddy. Yeah, sorry I disappeared last week. I had to step away from the markets last week and just kind of figured I'd take the week. So, apologize about that. Sometimes you got to step away, and this one was kind of impromptu and, well, very impromptu. And just in one of those situations. So let's see what we got. All right, you guys continuing the program. So on Friday, during my stocks or crypto power hour, member Shiny said that this thing was kind of breaking out. We were looking at this little small pattern right here. We talked about something similar to this, and so it looks like it started breaking out on Friday and doing pretty decent today. Market looks like it's been. I'm not sure if it's a channel or a wedge. If it's a wedge, we're breaking the wedge. Could go either way. A pretty small pattern out of getting bought up this morning. Actually, in the futures, futures sold off. I know we had the thing in Iran. I'm sorry about Saudi Arabia and Iran. I'm not sure where that status is right now. Saudi Arabia bombing. Yeah, two major Saudi installations hit by drone strikes. So that's kind of prompting oil this morning, up 26% on that triple ETF. After it started breaking out a little bit and then just kind of came in quite a bit. Now, a big jump up this morning. That had been fairly hard to stay in that trade down here the past couple of days. Um, Looks like the Nasdaq's probably still in a well confirmed uptrend. Let's go check it out. What have you been up to, Rob? Pin Pinduoduo puts a unique twist on e-commerce shopping. Well, let's look at that one in a second. Market trend, big picture. There we go. Brain fart. Two distribution days in the Nasdaq, one on the S&P. Wow, we're losing distribution days. That's a good sign. Sorting around the house, fair enough. At least you're not complaining about a bunch of losses, so that's good. So that's pretty good. Distribution days have actually drifted away. Ditched silver last week. Looks like we've come into a 50-day moving average. And we'll see if we're able to hold there. The silver trade got a little long in the tooth. Nice quasi base right there, trying to break out. Nothing crazy though. PDD's the symbol for this Pinduoduo. Recent IPO, looks like 2018. Costco meets Disneyland? What? What does that even mean? You want 5 pounds of corned beef hash? Go down this roller coaster. Merge social networking with group purchases at a discount. Okay. Wow, it's the third largest e-commerce platform in China behind Alibaba and JD.com. Interesting. Wow, So here's a pretty cool chart. Yes, there is a time limit on distribution days. It's 13 weeks. So if 13 weeks pass, the distribution days drop off. So here's something interesting is that Alibaba is sitting here, and oddly enough, everybody gained market share. This is really weird. So you've got 69 for Alibaba, 70, oh no, it did reduce. Um, so 73 for Alibaba, 69 for Alibaba. Oh, that's in 2021. That's kind of hard to predict that. This guy's supposed to double from 6 to 13, and this guy's supposed to go from 15 to 13. So Pinduoduo, I guess I didn't realize this had the year on it. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have brought it up if this was already happened. But that's what they're forecasting is basically a doubling of Pinduoduo's thing. Hmm. Triple digit revenue growth. Wow, 169%. Huh. Pinduoduo, if that's how you even call it. Not too bad. All right, let's take a walk down the actionable list here. There was an IB article the other day that I didn't look at. I think it was on my phone. Let me check it out. There you go. Top 5 stocks near buy points, all hailing from a fast rising sector. Fast rising sector is usually a good thing. And it looks like it's retail. A rotation appears to be underway. Growth stocks with high PE ratios have suffered. Lower PE stocks and financials have remained to shine. So it's PE ratios. All right, let's go look at these names. You got Walmart sitting at highs. Lululemon kind of sitting up there near highs. TJ Maxx chopping around near all-time highs actually, forming a kind of a interesting rising wedgish base. Zumiez. Okay. At eBay. Not bad. And that's the end of those 5. Not really looking that great, at least to my eye. Twitter coming in a little bit. We've got the NASDAQ pretty much flat, coming down this morning after two days up above this range. After we popped up here, still kind of here. Haven't really moved very far. NASDAQ so far close to all-time highs, but not really getting there. Unfortunately, volume drying up fairly quickly. You can see it's like steady, and then it drops off here. So we'll see if we run out of steam as we continue going higher here. All right, let's walk our way down. All right, you guys talked about that one. Overstock. Wow, Overstock had a super rally from the lows here. Increasing volume. See, that's what you want to see on the way up. And then a large topping day. That could put a pause in things for a minute. That has been very wide and choppy. OKE looks like a nice gap up this morning. Probably news or something. Roku is sold off before I took my hiatus last week, and looks like it's been consolidating that, looking like a little bear flag. See if it can reverse up. No need to jump into it right now. Although let's see if it's near the 50-day. No, not even near the 50-day. 50 days down there. So a jaunt down to the 50-day would do the body good and actually would be an entry point. OKE, INS. Twilio, we noted undercut through the 50-day that one day. It looks like it's just happily staying down there. Forming a base, it looks like. Which is fine. Let it form the base. MDCO, happy as a pig in slop up here. Looking like a possible 3 weeks tight pattern with these previous 2-3 weeks really tight. And we'll see if we get we'll see if we can stay tight in this week. Other than that, I mean, I guess you could take an entry position as this breaks over this prior high in MDCO, but 3 weeks tight pattern is a classic consolidation signal. Sometimes on 3 weeks tight patterns, what I've seen is the Friday before the 3 weeks tights finish, it starts to rally. And I don't know if that's because institutions have become aware of the 3 weeks tight pattern. Gold, what's gold up to? Coming back down too, and looks like it may be trying to go through my trend line here. HEI definitely lower there on Atlassian. Looks like market going into kind of at least a lot of the leaders pulling back and going into some type of a correction. The market may head that direction. Leaders tend to lead, and it looks like the leaders are telling us that caution is warranted. EPAM basing, Kiwi RealPage basing. Funko. Darn it. There you go, Funko. I was looking at it as it broke out of here. I was trying to make a play for it to go up to here, and it looks like it would have definitely eclipsed that. Funko probably on some good news. That's a good amount of volume. Very tight action here. This breaks out over this 28 level, or was it 2850 level? 2750, excuse me. 2762 was the high, and this is looking really nice right here. I mean, it may even try to go this morning. This could be a very, very small basing play for further upside on Funko. Looks really good. All this tight action kind of coming to fruition right now. Looks really good. D.R. Horton already looked at that. That guy kind of basing a little bit. Just pausing. Intuit coming down, trying to form a base. Probably Chegg, similar situation. Lope, similar situation. AMD not going anywhere. MJ, very happy down here. Not really bouncing like we saw during that previous low. So keep an eye on it. Not much to do until it makes a decision. Twitter flat, pulling back after a attempted breakout. Overstock. Big run up. Let's get rid of all these drawings. There we go. Okay. So that candle there kind of looked like it was another topping candle, but it wasn't there. So I wanted to just generally clear the air on this particular pattern. So here putting in a very small double bottom, and that would have been your entry right there. I'm not sure if it would have even qualified. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it wouldn't have qualified as a double bottom pattern per IBD standards, which may be why it kind of broke out and failed a little bit right there. So the buy point's actually right here where we've come down to this morning. So I'm not sure you want to enter down there though. I think a lot of caution these days is warranted. I don't mind the index play for the TQQQ, but you know, it's hasn't been able to get into recent highs. We'll take a look at the S&P in a little bit, see if that's we'll see if that's able to get up there either. Snap had a move lower and a break through the 50-day moving average, and then trying to bounce up into it today, looking like it's failing the move. There's your break on higher volume. That's a very clear sell signal for Snap. It was forming a nice base, and then boom, a big drop, cutting through the 50-day. And so now a failure of the 50-day, this is going to put this rally in danger. Hopefully we can start chopping through it. That would be more healthy than staying underneath it. CHK and Yuma, both good ones this morning. Okay. A couple more to go here in the actionable list. So Carvana able to hold up pretty good. ZTO rally from 20 to 22, got up about 10%, pulling back here a little bit. Carvana hasn't pulled back a tremendous amount at all, actually. He was able to kind of hold up there, which is good. Sherman-Williams still rising, oddly enough. And then Overstock, again, now leading our market to the downside here. All right, let's take a look at Chesapeake Energy. They get a big pop. Yeah, you know what? I had a couple of plays in Chesapeake looking for a kind of a more macro turnaround. It just hasn't transpired yet. This thing just keeps moving lower and lower. I'm not really interested in Chesapeake until it really shows. It shows it wants to move higher. You know, I'm just gonna. You just gotta let some of these go sometimes. That's when I've just let go of Yuma. Wow, that's a very, very spiky. This looks like a small altcoin. Yeah, I ain't touching that one. I ain't touching that one unless you're putting some position on you really don't care about. I wouldn't be touching that one. Not even sure what they do. Yuma Energy. What do these guys do? Debt purchase. Red Mountain Capital buying its debt. Okay. That could be pretty good. Halted due to volatility. That's probably on this day over here. What was that? 9/11? Yeah, see. Everything happened on 9/11. I hate saying that. Okay, so apparently some pretty good capital management company is buying this company's debt, showing it a vote of confidence for whatever reason. I don't know why. 1,600 down to 69 cents at one point. Up a whopping 400% from there to, or 500% plus from there to 513. Both horrible plays, Rob. Hey, hold on a second. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Oh, a fidelity list? Yeah, I was wondering how you came up with these. I'm like, how do you even find this thing? It's a bunch of. This is So the reason why it's on your Fidelity list is because all the retail traders just bought up here. So anyway, all right. So it looks like the market's still here since my departure from the markets. Okay, I was worried it would leave without me, but I guess not. Guess it's still here. So seeing some oil stocks up here, Fang, CLR, EOG, all popping this morning. Solaris, don't remember what they do. WHD, this is another oil play. Glog, an oil play. EC, look, oh, there's an oil play. SoFun, not an oil play, but also the stock way down in the doldrums here. You know what? Let's do this. Let's take a look at the EIBD. I mean, doesn't really look like there's a lot going on here. The indexes appear to be rising. And actually, I did see a tweet over the weekend from, I'm not sure if you follow any Twitter guys, but I thought it was a pretty poignant tweet from a very smart trader. This guy, Martyr on the Market, he's really good. Um, yeah, I believe he is one of an IBD disciple, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but anyway, he put something on here which is 100% true. And see another Bill O'Neill quote. Everybody loves Bill O'Neill. Oh, that's an interesting one. An edge does not mean you know what will happen on any trade on with any one trade. It means you know what is likely to happen over the next 100 trades. Huh. Do you not look for flag formations in a trading range environment? Do you not look for flag formations after a buy sell climax? Interesting. I think it was after this one. No. Yeah, to those who are still buying, this isn't the one, but this is funny. To those who are still buying growth stocks to buying growth stock breakouts, when they raid the brothel, they usually get everyone, including the piano player. I'm not seeing the tweet that I saw. I basically talked about if you're not paying attention to the leaders being sold off while the market rallies, um, you're about to find out or something like that. Hmm. Growth into retail. Still can't find what I'm looking for. Growth stocks led the market 40%. Anytime you get a William O'Neill quote, listen to it. I can't find this quote I was looking for. But yeah, he was talking about he was referring to the leaders falling off while the general market rallied and that not being a good thing in a nutshell. Last week's last week's breakout on the average Averages notwithstanding, there are more leading stocks with failed breakouts distribution breaking down than any time since bear market in Q8, Q4 18. Hmm. Yeah, there you go. I do not screen stocks. I create my watch list by manually looking at about 1,200 charts, one after the other each week. This is the way we all did it prior to charting software. It's probably the best way to do it, to be honest with you. We try to augment ourselves with all this technology and stuff, but but by looking at all these charts, this guy he looks at about 1,200. By looking at all those charts, you're literally training your brain just like you would train an artificial intelligence model. But you know you're removing a one big caveat, which is the element that you don't know what the AI is thinking. It doesn't know what you know. Okay. Market cap, relative price, 50-day average, relative strength rating. That's cool. Hmm. ERT. Oh, that's very interesting. From 1995, I was a buy the book can slimmer. In 95, I rolled everything down to earnings estimates for this year and the next 1 to 2 quarter revenue growth, upward sloping relative strength line, technical chart pattern. Wow. Okay. Yeah, this guy's just got good stuff. I'm just reading right now. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in here. Entry 20% loss. The trade that was the last straw right here. Hmm. So good stuff over there. Let's check out that docu that guy was talking about. Oh wow, huge gap up. Was complete garbage prior to that, but that was a nice gap. Wow. Can add Docu to our list. That's definitely an actionable one. Wow, newer down 12%. What's that guy doing? Lumber Liquidators, Pays, Auto Home, Aurora, MMNFF, GNC Vips. Etsy. Etsy not having good days lately. NXPI not bad, able to get up. PKG, all right, pretty good. Okay, let's go through some of this real quick. Drug prices resist laws of gravity. Yeah, right. That I believe. All right, let's take a look at sector leaders. This is the big list. There's only 3 of them. That's usually not very good when you only have 3 sector leaders. Doesn't bode well for markets. Flat base on base still intact. 201 buy point for EPAM. Dies below 10-week line in heavy volume. Key sell rule for KL. That's gold. Tumbles below 10-week line in light trade. Not a sell signal in PAGs. So definitely weakness all the way around here. This guy also undercutting. I don't know why it doesn't say to undercut the 50-day in heavier volume, because it kind of did. It says the base is still intact, though. I guess it didn't quite drift down low enough. How's your ride, dude? Good. Do you think you guys will get a pullback? The what?
My shoes did fall off.
You should have put your actual shoes on. You think you guys will get a pullback to enter, or do you think it will have a big pullback like gold and silver? I don't know. Let's go back to you guys. I think it's just paused here. I think it may continue with its rally. It hasn't had a pullback. This was its pullback. It just had it, and that's all it got. So it's got a lot of momentum. It's got a tremendous amount of momentum here with rising volume. You see here, even on the weekly chart, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 weeks of rising volume, this being the low volume week. I think it's likely to keep going, to be honest with you. Keep in mind, this is a 3 times ETF, so all these 8% moves are only 2.5%. I don't think GAZ is what it's based on, but maybe it is. Man, super choppy. Everyone's just in the UGAZ. It looks like that's a lot more liquid. So this is looking really great, though. The problem with these is you can't have the tendency where it cuts you by 15 to 20% in one day. So up this high, even after this little base, I'd be playing pretty light. I'm not going to play it at all. I'm going to abstain for a while until things are more clear. They're just not clear, and I'm not dealing in it personally. There's time. I got time. I don't got to make money tomorrow. That's why you never trade with money that you can't lose. You can afford to be patient with it. If you can't afford to be patient with your money, you're not going to make sound decisions. All right, WHT. So the oil play is still going. %. That's a big gap up on that guy. That's nice. Of course, it was pretty low down here. Did get choppy. Was nice and tight here for a minute. Started breaking out, and then boom, a cutback. All like the 4th lowest candle. Maybe not quite the 4th, but one of the lowest candles here in this area is that one. Then you get the Iran drone strikes, and up you go. So this could be off to the races for oil, or if Saudi Arabia pulls it back quickly, it could be a kind of a non-starter event. But maybe a longer-term trend shift for oil. We'll have to wait and see. Take a look at Starbucks real quick. So Starbucks sliced through that 50-day, just brutal, and bounced up to it, failed it, and now back lower. So a third test of the 50-day actually is a shorting opportunity technically in IBD's book. Um, no, no, I think you're being patient, Rob. If you're not taking big risks right now, I think you're being patient. The market goes through these cycles sometimes. It's not extraordinarily bullish, extraordinarily often historically. I mean, it goes through super bouts of crazy bull markets where everything runs, and it goes through times where certain sectors run, then it goes through times where certain things are choppy and other things kind of run, and it goes through times where everything's choppy and some things fail. We're in one of those environments right now. And then it goes into markets where everything fails. So right now, we're in a choppy slash failure market. You're not getting a lot of runners, and you haven't really for the past little bit, other than these commodity pops that we've kind of caught and been watching. Um, so no, I think so. Here's the general thing that some people think. I'm not saying you're one of them. Maybe you are. Some people think that you can always make money in every market environment, and loosely, in a very loose interpretation, that is correct. In a more realistic interpretation, the edge that you've trained yourself for in the market comes along every once in a while. Doesn't necessarily come along every single day. Now, there's some people that say I make money in every market environment. Um, it doesn't matter, and that's great. Probably very, very short-term traders, just maybe day trading to 1 to 2 days. You know, other people that say that, well, actually, they don't say that. They're very long-term traders, and they don't care about any market volatility. I actually met with a money manager that invests that way. I asked him what he did during 2008. Said nothing. Said I did nothing during 2008. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Nothing. I did nothing. Um, Meaning he didn't sell a bunch of positions. He didn't move his positions. He just stayed. Whatever he had in 2008, he stayed with it, and he's the benefactor from it. So I mean, that's his trading strategy. It's very, very long term. He just allocates capital, moves it around when it needs to, and lets it sit. And that's his particular strategy. Um, so if you're kind of a mid-term swing trader, which I'm probably considered a mid-term swing trader, right now there's not a lot of swing trades to be had. This Starbucks trade failing, I think, was probably a symptom of the overall market weakness. To be honest with you, there was no reason that the news that came into Starbucks should have reacted that way, and so it shows the weakness in the market. So I'm really just biding my time right here. I even exited my TQQQ position the other day when I kind of walked away. I'm just done. I'm just done right now. So I'm gonna wait till the market has better news, better days, maybe till the China trade war thing is done, which could be a year. You don't know, but um, you know, if I see something very actionable, I'll probably take a trade here or there. Probably very short term swings, um, but until something changes in the market, I'm just kind of abstaining for right now. And maybe the market blasts off higher here in a little bit, but I don't know. I don't see it. I mean, I don't generally see it in the charts. You don't see a lot of things setting up. Usually when things start exploding higher, you see leading stocks setting up to explode higher. Like this Starbucks trade would have worked out really well if the market would have been healthier. It was pretty, good stock, good earnings, good story. Um, just didn't. And so that's just a symptom of kind of, where we are. And a lot of these other story stocks are doing that too. And I mentioned, where's that? Atlassian. Is it Atlassian? What's Atlassian? Team. So Team was a good. Um, yeah, Rob. Well, you're kind of always watching 30 seconds behind. It's the way YouTube works it. Anyway, so Atlassian here, I mentioned this last week or the week before. I don't remember which. About I thought this was just a normal pullback, but then I realized this is a leading stock. Atlassian has been a leader of this market, and a failure like this, breaking through the 50-day moving average after respecting it for so long, is a failure. It is a failure. It's one of the first of many, or one of many, I should say. So Starbucks failing is another failure. Team failing is a failure. We're seeing a lot of failures right now. You're getting some things that aren't quite failing, like Roku's not quite failing. One of the few that's been working the past several months. But other than that, we see gold running. We see some of these other things running that shouldn't be running in bull markets. So it's not, even though it looks like we're near highs, we're really not in a bull market right now. I mean, technically it is, but it's an uptrend. But it's not like a bull market. So REITs, Dano's REITs, some of the ones he's looking at from a long time ago. I'm not even sure if they're still valid. Daily movers. Let's take a look at these. 82%, that's got to be an oil play. 62%, that's got to be an oil play. Whiting Petroleum, that's an oil play. Because I know the name. Wow, what's it at? Dang. Is it 10? That seems super duper low. The low is 6. Wow. Yeah, I did get out of Starbucks, Rob. Way too late. One of these days when I feel like getting my ass kicked, I'm gonna go through I'm gonna go through this trade and be like, what the? Well, actually, I know exactly what I did wrong. The problem is I went in too heavy on an early entry point. I was getting greedy. I went in too heavy on the early entry point. I wouldn't have minded the loss if I didn't go too heavy. I wouldn't have minded the loss, but I went in too heavy too early, and probably cut it too late as well. It's probably something else that I did, And then when it started breaking the 50-day, I just had to ditch it. And then it continued going lower, and then looks like bounced back. We're lower here again today. But yeah, I did cut it. I basically just have my super long MJ options. That's all I have right now, which is I'm not giving those up until they expire worthless. It's just going to be what it's going to be. So another year and 3 months for this trade to expire worthless. If we're lucky, we'll get a nice route back at some point, but it doesn't look like we're getting it right now. Let's take a look at Tesla. Just thinking about Tesla over the weekend. Oh, wow. That's starting to look like maybe a cup and handle. That's starting to look like a cup and handle in Tesla. %. Oh, this is nice. This is nice. Look how nice and tight we are up here. Oh, this is beautiful. Wow. You know what this reminds me of? Not 100% like verbatim. And it sucks that the market's in this shitty situation right now. Similar to this cup and handle, minus the crazy run coming out of it. I actually traded this cup and handle quite successfully. Yeah, I told my wife to get it under 200. She's like, I don't have any money right now. I'm like, what the fuck? Tesla's under $200. Just freaking buy some. So similar to this cup and handle, this one didn't really handle though. This one just cupped and then just boom, rallied out. These look very similar, minus the large rally. It's the only bad part here, is the rally isn't that big. So your measured move out of this, look at that. Bam, almost perfect. Almost perfect measured move. So if you take a measured move out of this, you can get right up there towards that 340 plus level. Right there. Yeah, Rob, I still go through some of those things, man. It's if you have a feeling, if you've got a feeling about something, man, I do good when I obey this rule. Just do it. Whatever your feeling is, just do it. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like in certain circumstances, obviously if you feel in this random trade that you've never looked at before, if you feel something, you probably should run that by somebody. But if you feel Tesla under 200 is a bargain, because you know about Tesla, we all know about Tesla. If you feel that in something that if your brain has taken in information and assimilated stuff in your cerebral cortex, your subconscious knows stuff that your conscious mind doesn't. There's a barrier there that we don't have access to, that our conscious minds don't have access to. So when you have that feeling in something do it. Just do it. I don't care what it is. Just do it. And it's the same thing on the opposite side. If you have a feeling I just shouldn't do this, then just don't do that. But if you just have an epiphany moment, and that's also kind of a hard thing with trading, is that as we look at these charts, and that's why it's a good idea to go through those 1,200 charts every single day or every single week, like Martyr does, is because you train yourself, and what you're training is your subconscious. You're not training your conscious mind. You're training your subconscious. When you get a subconscious hit like that, like a bam, just like that, that is your brain algorithm telling you something. So if you get that feeling, just do it. Same thing on crypto when ETH hit 80. I thought it when Litecoin hit 20, to be honest with you. Yeah.
Can you brush my teeth, please?
Yeah, I'll brush your teeth. I'll be out of here in a few minutes, okay? Hey, why don't you go potty and put your socks and shoes on, okay?
Okay.
Thank you, Bugs. Yeah, so, almost every time I feel super happy about where my account is, I should just be selling stuff. That's kind of what I've noticed. My head kind of notices topping, but it notices as euphoria. I don't get a warning. Every time I've seen a high in my account, I should have sold it. Every time because my mind's like, oh, that's really great, and then I get greedy and go, oh, it's going to go to this, right? That's kind of what happens. So anyway, anytime you have those kind of feelings, Rob, and if you'll notice, Rob, it doesn't happen very often. If you go back and kind of write these feelings out and down, so just every time you get one of these epiphanies, write it down. Maybe just make an epiphany journal. That's a good idea. That way you can start to learn to trust your subconscious mind. I kind of had a feeling like that underneath 200 as well. I'm like, this is a great place to buy Tesla. I didn't buy any. I don't really have a position like that in my account, but told my wife to buy it. Of course, she didn't buy it. I still think it's a good buy. I still don't think it's a bad buy. It's still under 250. Yes, because what happens, Rob, is your logical mind goes, no, but it's under the buy point. It's this and it's that. And all that stuff is valid. But your brain is training itself in like two ways. You need to learn something, and then your mind, your subconscious mind, assimilates all this information. It's kind of like driving. When you first learn to back out of a driveway, or back out of a parking space, or back into a parking space, your logical mind is freaking out, and you're looking in your mirrors, you're going out, you're sticking your head out the window, you're adjusting your mirrors, you're looking in your rear view, you're double checking things 2 and 3 times. It's a very logical process. But after you've done it several times, unbeknownst, you're actually training your subconscious mind. And I can back into a parking spot right now from almost any situation, and really not give it a second thought. I can do 3-point turns right now. I can back into I can basically parallel park, not giving it a second thought. I kind of have my thing down. So, and if I sat there and overthought my parallel parking process, it takes forever. It just takes forever. So when you have these epiphanies, you just got to go with it. Doesn't mean you go all in on it. Doesn't mean you do these kinds of things. But no, you're like, you know what? Boom, I like this. Bam. It's your subconscious mind kind of. When you're training that subconscious mind, you got to listen to it, because we spend so much time in our logical mind process, especially when trading, that when your subconscious mind notices something that is good, it tells you. You just can't override it. Anyway, with that little nugget there, Rob, I'm going to bounce out of here. Anyone else watching, have a good day. I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. All right. Bye bye.